Okay, let's talk about Nigeria's economy, because something interesting is happening. After what felt like a pretty uncertain time, we're starting to see some really compelling new signs. Signs that have financial experts all over the world sitting up and paying close attention. So the big question is this for real? Is Africa's largest economy actually making a comeback? After facing some serious headwinds, are we finally seeing the beginning of a real, genuine recovery? Well, let's break down what's going on and see if we can figure it out. Well, the short answer seems to be yeah. And it's a story that really comes together in three key parts. We're going to connect the dots between a bold policy shift happening at home, a major thumbs up from a huge global institution, and maybe the most powerful signal of all, what the international market itself is doing. Okay, first up, the first piece of this whole turnaround puzzle starts right there at home. It's all about a really crucial and frankly long-awaited decision from the Central Bank of Nigeria.
So what exactly is an interest rate cut? Let's quickly break that down. Simply put, it's when the central bank makes it cheaper for everyone to borrow money. The whole goal is to get businesses and regular people to spend and invest more, which hopefully fuels growth. It's basically one of the classic tools in the playbook to kickstart an economy that's been a little sluggish.
But here's the thing. This wasn't just any old rate cut. This was the first one in 5 years. 5 years. That huge gap tells you this is a big deal. It signals a major shift in strategy. The bank is basically saying, okay, conditions are finally right. It's time to hit the gas on investment and growth. Okay, so making a policy shift at home is one thing, but does the rest of the world agree with the move, right? And that brings us to our second key sign. This is where the story gets really, really interesting. And check this out. This isn't just someone's optimistic opinion. This is a direct quote from the World Bank. And when an institution with that kind of global clout says your outlook is getting better and your reforms are working, well, that's like a massive seal of approval. It makes every major financial center on the planet snap to attention. So, a good report from the World Bank? That's huge. But the real test, the ultimate proof, is whether actual investors are putting their money where their mouth is. And the answer to that question? Well, it might just be the most powerful signal of them all. 400%. Just let that number sink in. When Nigeria recently went to the international markets to borrow money, that's what a Eurobond is basically, the demand was just off the charts. To put it simply, for every single dollar in bonds Nigeria put up for sale, investors were lining up to offer $4. That's not just confidence, that is a massive wave of enthusiasm from the global market. All right, so let's recap. We've got a domestic policy change, a big stamp of approval from a global institution, and a flood of cash from the market. So what does it all mean when you put these three things together? The key thing to understand is that these aren't just random, isolated events. They're actually creating this really powerful feedback loop. Think about it. The central bank's move gives the World Bank something good to report. The World Bank's positive report then gives investors the confidence to jump in. See how that works? Each piece makes the other pieces stronger, and together they build this really compelling story of a recovery. And at the end of the day, when you see all three of these things, domestic policy, the institutional outlook, and actual market behavior, all pointing in the same direction, that tells you this is probably more than just a temporary blip. It really suggests a fundamental shift in how the world sees this economy, a story of credibility being rebuilt, step by step, on the world stage. So the signs of a comeback are definitely compelling, but look, this is really just the beginning of the story. The next crucial test, the real acid test, is whether all this high-level confidence actually translates into real-world growth that you can feel, the kind that improves everyday life for people. That's going to be the true measure of this turnaround, and it's absolutely the next big thing we all need to watch for.